Welcome back to BK Collectables, your go-to destination for everything related to classic American coinage. If you're passionate about rare coins, history, and hidden treasures in your change, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a deep dive into numismatic history. Today, we're going to explore one of the most beloved and iconic coins ever minted by the United States, the Indian head cent. This humble 1-cent piece has captured the hearts of collectors for over a century, and it's packed with fascinating stories, design changes, rarities, and historical significance. But before we dig into the Indian head cent itself, we have to go back to what came just before it. The Indian head cent replaced the Flying Eagle cent, which had a brief 3-year run from 1856 to 1858. While the Flying Eagle design was beautiful and innovative for its time, it had some striking issues, literally. The high relief of the eagle caused problems in the striking process, especially in the wreath on the reverse side. That, along with public confusion between the Flying Eagle cent and the silver dime, led to a swift redesign. The Indian head cent was introduced in 1859 and remained in production until 1909, making it a 51-year cornerstone in American small change. Designed by James Barton Longecker, the Indian head cent is instantly recognizable. The obverse features a profile bust of Liberty wearing a Native American headdress. That's right, despite what many people think, it's not actually a Native American on the coin. It's a representation of Liberty, stylized with Native American imagery. This blend of cultural symbolism and American identity made the coin stand out. The reverse initially featured a simple laurel wreath, which was changed in 1860 to an oak wreath with a shield at the top, a design that would remain until the end of the series. The very first year, 1859, is a standout. This was the only year that featured the laurel wreath reverse, making it a 1-year type coin. Collectors prize it for its historical significance, and even in lower grades, it's a must-have. High-grade examples, particularly in uncirculated condition, can command impressive prices due to their limited survival and distinct design. In 1860, the Mint revised the reverse to feature an oak wreath and shield. This design gave the coin a stronger, more patriotic feel, something that resonated deeply as the United States was on the brink of civil war. The Indian head cent, minted from 1860 onward, would become an everyday part of American life during one of the most tumultuous periods in the nation's history. One of the most significant turning points in the Indian head cent series came in 1864. Prior to that year, the coins were struck from a copper-nickel alloy, giving them a pale, almost whitish appearance. But in 1864, the composition changed to a bronze alloy 95% copper with 5% tin and zinc. That change not only made the coins easier to strike, but also gave them the rich, brown color that most people associate with older pennies. That year, there were 2 major varieties, the 1864 copper-nickel and the 1864 bronze, as well as a famous variety with the designer's initials, 1864 with L. The L stands for Longecker, and it appears on the ribbon of Liberty's headdress. The 1864 L variety is much scarcer than the plain version and is highly sought after by collectors. The post-Civil War years brought some of the scarcest coins in the series. The 1877 Indian head cent is the undisputed king of the series. With a mintage of just 852,000, it's the lowest regular issue mintage of all Indian head cents. Combine that with widespread circulation and heavy use, and you've got a coin that is incredibly difficult to find in high grades. Even well-worn examples can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on condition. The 1877 cent is a crown jewel for serious Indian head collectors. Another rare date is 1872, which had a mintage of just over 4 million, but remains scarce due to poor survival rates and heavy circulation. The 1871, 1873 closed 3, and 1873 open 3 varieties also add depth and challenge for collectors aiming to complete a full set. The 1873 coins are especially interesting because of the 3 in the date. Early in the year, the 3 was closed, appearing more like an 8. This was quickly corrected, and coins struck later in the year featured the Open 3. Both varieties are collected today, and examples in mint state command strong premiums. Let's talk about some coins that may not be rare in terms of mintage, but are still important in the collector market. The 1879, 1880, and 1881 coins were minted in relatively modest numbers, and finding them in uncirculated condition is a real challenge. These coins often show weak strikes and poor details, making high-grade examples even more desirable. By the mid-1880s, production of Indian head cents began to stabilize. The 1883 and 1884 coins are more common, but collectors still pay close attention to strike quality, color, and eye appeal. The 1886 features two major varieties: Type 1, with the last feather of the headdress pointing between the I and C of America, and Type 2, with the feather pointing between the C and A. Both are collectible, and some enthusiasts aim to collect both versions. The 1890s brought a resurgence of interest in small denomination coins. One of the standout years is 1894, which had a low mintage of just over 1 million, relatively low for that era. The 1895 through 1899 coins are generally more available, but again, condition is everything. A gem uncirculated example with original red color can be exponentially more valuable than a brown, circulated piece. As the century turned, Indian head cents entered their final decade. The 1908 and 1909 issues were struck at both the Philadelphia Mint and, for the first time, the San Francisco Mint. The 1908 S was the first Indian head cent to bear the S mint mark, and with a mintage of just over 1 million, it is a key date. The 1909 S, however, is one of the most famous in the series. With a mintage of only 309,000, it is the second lowest mintage of the entire series and the lowest for any coin struck for circulation at the San Francisco Mint in the 19th century. The 1909 S Indian head cent is a major key, and its value reflects that status. It's worth noting that 1909 also saw the debut of the Lincoln cent, which replaced the Indian head design and remains in production today. That makes 1909 a transitional year, and both Indian head and Lincoln cents were produced that year, a significant detail for collectors of either series. Some collectors specialize in toned coins, and Indian head cents offer some stunning examples. Because of the high copper content, they can develop rich reds, blues, purples, and browns over time. Collectors often categorize them by color: red, red-brown, and brown, with red being the most valuable. Finding a full red 1877, for example, is almost unheard of and would be a centerpiece in any collection. Another area of interest is proofs. Proof Indian head cents were struck from 1859 through 1909, and they're generally much scarcer than business strikes. The early proofs, especially those before 1864, are extremely rare and often command 4- or 5-figure prices. Proofs with cameo or deep cameo contrast are especially desirable. Indian head cents have also appeared in history outside of numismatics. These coins were in circulation during the Civil War, the Reconstruction era, the Industrial Revolution, and even into the Progressive era. Imagine someone buying a stick of gum or a newspaper with a coin that now sells for thousands of dollars. These cents were truly a part of everyday American life for over 5 decades. And finally, collecting Indian head cents can be a deeply rewarding journey. Whether you're going after a full date set, a type set, or just a handful of key dates, the series offers something for every budget and level of experience. From the 1859 laurel wreath 1-year type to the elusive 1909 S, each coin has a story to tell. They're not just copper pieces, they're historical artifacts. So whether you're just getting started or you've been collecting for years, the Indian head cent series offers rich opportunities to learn, invest, and enjoy. Let us know in the comments what your favorite Indian head cent is. Maybe it's the rare 1877, the first-year 1859, or even the historically significant 1909 S. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to BK Collectables for more. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy collecting!